Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside of the Voss Fieldhouse for John Crispin alongside Rose Thompson and Russo. Joining us for the 125th edition of the Rivalry. And Hope comes in at 14-0 overall, 5-0 in conference. Their counterpart Calvin University comes in at 4-2 overall, 4-2 in conference, and 10-4 overall. Keys to the game brought to you by Lawrence and Vandersworth Financial Planning done right. For all your financial planning needs, visit lawrenceandvandersworth.com. Noah, this Calvin team, trying to get in the win column, trying to make it 5 wins in conference. What do they have to do to get it done tonight?
When we look at this Calvin team, they've really scored so far this year at scoring. They're only shooting about 38% from the field, and to do that, they're going to have to develop a few more high percentage shots, whether that's screen and rolls or trying to get Hope's bigs out in space. And then overall, you got to get your star player, Gabby Timmer, involved. She's averaging 16 a game this year, and she's your only player in double digits. You got to find a way to get her away from the trees of Hope.
And then on the Hope side, they're perfect so far, nearly an impeccable record. Rose, what do they have to do to maintain their win record and make it 15-0?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for this Hope team, first of all, just overcoming the pressure of tonight. They beat this team earlier on in the season by a deficit of over 25. So if anything's going to go wrong tonight, it's going to be the mental pressure of this being a big rivalry game. But in terms of strategy for this team, obviously Gabby Timmer is going to be the first look for Calvin tonight. But I would feel really good going into this game if you're Coach Brian Morehouse or any player on this team, given the size that this team has. The bigs that they're bringing to the table, Olivia Voskuhl, Ashley Thomas, Courtney Barnes, all very capable of playing good defense, all capable of scoring, all capable of running the court hard, very versatile players that are going to bring big things to this game tonight. And secondly, this program prides itself on its defensive persistence. And like any other game, getting stops on defense, denying shots, keeping their looks limited. Obviously, that's going to be a key in this game like any other game, and also just given the added pressure to maintain that composure on defense is going to be really important for Hope tonight.
So it should be an exciting and exhilarating matchup this evening. It's the 125th anniversary of the Rivalry. We'll see on the other side of the anthem and the intro. So for John Crispin, Rose Thompson, and Noah Russo, we'll see you on the other side of the break. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. You got Flying Dutch basketball coming your way.
The rivalry. The rivalry. The rivalry. The rivalry. The rivalry between Hope and Calvin is super special because there's none other like it in Division III women's basketball.
So it means a lot of different things, but one of the things I'm really excited about, like to play in the game, is the energy and the passion that everyone brings to the game and the crowd, and it's just a really hyped up game, so that's really fun.
Coming to the Calvin game, like, it's always been packed and everyone's always super energized and excited.
It's one of those things, whether you're on the bench or you're on the court, it's just you have this adrenaline and it brings so much energy to the game, and it can be a little nerve-wracking at times, but I think that's what makes it so special and makes it like no other game.
It means competition.
Just 40 minutes of playing in an intense environment, and it has a history of just being super competitive, which makes it really fun.
The community is always super involved. Our professors get super excited, so it's fun to kind of chat about it in classes.
Just the entire thing is always a really big deal, and it feels like we work so hard up until and after this game. So we just come out, and Calvin always plays really well against us.
And it's just great that both communities come together for such a special game, and it's just really competitive and a great way to bring both communities together.
Playing against Calvin, you're kind of playing for the people that played before you and the people that are coming after you. And
we're just super excited to be able to play in it again this year. We're just excited to have a great competitive game.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America with the playing of our national anthem, please welcome the Vicksburg High School Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Ben Rozier and Miss Ravenna Kaler. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vicksburg High School Pep Band. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DeVos Fieldhouse here on the campus of Hope College for today's women's varsity contest between the Knights of Calvin University and your Hope College Flying Dutch. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First, at one forward for the Knights, a 5'10 sophomore from Evergreen, Colorado, number 10, Stephanie Kors. And at one forward for the Flying Dutch, a 5'10 junior from Zeeland, number 20, Kennedy Schoonveld. At one forward for the Knights, a 5'8 freshman from Frisco, Texas, number 34, Leah Harris. And at one forward for the Flying Dutch, a 6'2 junior from Shelby Township, number 25, Ashley Thomas. Starting at center for the Knights, a 6'3 sophomore from Caledonia, number 24, Gabby Timmer. And at center for the Flying Dutch, a 6'3 junior from Holland, number 5, Olivia Vasco. At one guard for the Knights, a 5'6 senior from Grand Rapids, number 11, Kara Minderhout. And at one guard for the Flying Dutch, a 5'9 junior from Grand Rapids, number 22, Sydney Muller. And at the final guard spot for the Knights, a 5'7 sophomore from Castle Rock, Colorado, number 15, Abby Cooley. And at the final guard spot for the Flying Dutch, a 5'7 junior from Flushing, number 23, Lauren Newman. The Knights of Calvin University are coached by Mark Christner. The Flying Dutch of Hope College are coached by Brian Morehouse. Your officials this evening are Mr. Perry Costello, Mr. Sean Black, and Mr. Tim Swain. And Hope fans, we now have a very special announcement before we start tonight's rivalry game. Susan Moy Cherup, the Arnold and Esther Sonnevelt Endowed Chair in Education and 1964 Hope graduate, is completing her 55th year of teaching, 43 of which have been at Hope College. Cherup loves to teach and received the Hope Outstanding Professor Award. She is married to Glenn, a retired deck officer in the U.S. Merchant Marines, and together they faithfully follow the women's basketball team. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Susan Moy Cherup, who is this year's super fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome inside the DeVos Fieldhouse from John Crispin alongside Rose Thompson and Noah Russo. Getting set to bring you the 125th anniversary of the rivalry here at the DeVos Fieldhouse. Hope in their home white, Calvin in their road black. Starting lineups brought to you by Sympatico Coffee. Try the Oaxacan Gold today. For the Knights of Calvin, it's Stephanie Kors, Minderhout, Abby Cooley, Gabby Timmer, the standout sophomore, and Leah Harris And for the Flying Dutch, it's Bosco, Schoonveld, Muller, Newman, and Thomas to round out the starting five, and we are underway. And it's Muller with it now on the perimeter. Over to Schoonveld. Muller. Inside, loses control, goes on a play to belong to the Knights.
Strong defense there by Calvin. A great job shuffling her feet and able to force Muller with no other option, and she just lost it out of bounds.
So 20 seconds on the shot clock. Minderhound looking for space, being guarded by Schoonveld. Inside pass up off the glass, no good. Second chance off the mark. That was Timmer. No, you talked about her in the pregame. What is going to be crucial for this Calvin team to make sure Timmer gets going in the early going?
Well, they just got to feed her in the post, and if they can pass the ball around a little bit throughout the key, they're going to be able to open up more opportunities so that Hope won't be able to double her every single play.
That's the kind of look that's going to be dangerous for Hope tonight in this game. Those isolation looks for Gabby Timmer, I would say that should be their primary priority, at least on defense, to minimize her touches on the ball, because good things happen when she gets it inside.
Muller inside, long shot, no good, and it's rebounded by the Knights, and they're in transition. Timmer down low, working on Schoonveld. It'll be a blocking foul. She'll head to the line and try to complete the three-point play. My goodness.
Strong move by Timmer, able to get through the body of the defender and score. Hope's got to get back a little bit quicker on transition defense. That looks rough.
Timmer on the line. And the shot is no good, but it's rebounded and it's up and good on the second chance point. That was Stephanie Kors, the sophomore from Evergreen, Colorado, on the follow-up attempt. It's 6-0, the Calvin lead. Muller up off the glass, gets the first Flying Dutch points of the afternoon. It's 6-2.
That's a beautiful take by Muller on that play. Really got her shoulder into her defender. We'll be looking to see that from her quite a bit tonight, going aggressively to the rim. She can also pull up for the three-point shot. Her having a good night is going to be really crucial for this team.
And Lauren Newman picks up her first. That'll be the team's second foul. And coming to the Flying Dutch lineup is Jess Mormon. 17 on the shot clock. Driving is Minderhound. And then right down Broadway up with the left hand. That's Abby Cooley.
That's just a great job finishing with the left hand. Coors able to show off a little bit of explosiveness to get in the lane. Hope's got to step up a little bit and switch a little better.
Mormon. Bosco working on the elbow. Bosco with a strong move with the right hand, and it's good.
Good one-on-one isolation there out of Bosco on that play. Didn't hesitate with Timmer. She's not used to playing with many girls that are actually her size. So watching those two size up tonight is going to be a good challenge for both of them.
Cooley for three off the front of the iron, no good, but it's rebounded by Kors. The second offensive rebound for Kors on the evening. Inside, ball is stripped and out of play. It'll stay with the Knights, much to the dismay of the fans in the stands. They can't believe it. When the call stands, into the game for the Flying Dutch comes Casey DeSmit, the sophomore guard. 4-point Knight lead. Kors turns Mormon around, ball's tipped. Bosco working on the steal. It'll be a kick. And possession will favor the Flying Dutch. A much-needed turnover to stop this Calvin offense in the early ongoing. And into the game for the Flying Dutch comes number 24, Kayla Russell.
And that was a great defensive play by Hope there, but on the Calvin side, there is potential to use that aggressiveness against them. You can do a few ball fakes.
Bosco inside. Kicks out to Mormon. Mormon back to Bosco. Baseline jumper off the back of the iron. No good. Russell with the offensive rebound. DeSmit thinks about it. Kicks out to Mormon. Mormon, ball fake. And it drains from the baseline. It's 8-6, and all of a sudden that 8-point lead is now down to 2. As you see the momentum starting to shift. Cooley. Being pressured by DeSchmidt. Pours for 3. No good. In and out. And it's rebounded by Vosco. And it's the Flying Dutch in transition. Muller drives baseline. Ball is tapped out of bounds. And it will be Hope position, no inbound. Baseline right. .24 seconds on the shot clock. Muller works inside, strong move, gets on rebound, she's fouled. And she'll head to the line to shoot 2. And the foul is on number 24, Gabby Timmers, sophomore forward. Caledonia, Michigan, arguably their strongest player. And in the game for the Knights comes number 44, Bailey Galen Brown, the sophomore from Evergreen, Colorado.
There aren't as many teams as physical as Hope, especially down low. So as we look at Kelvin throughout this first quarter and beyond, it could be interesting to see how that physicality matches up in terms of wear and fatigue.
And as the front end of 2 falls, awaiting the second from Muller. No, we talked about this being the first year for Coach Mark Christener's first season at the helm. What does a win on the road at home to an undefeated team mean for this program?
Overall, it just means that you can cap off your first year, you get back to 500, you still keep the MIAA in play, and you avenge your worst loss of the season. This wasn't a great outcome when they played at Kelvin earlier this year, and if you can avenge that loss, as another foul is picked up on Timmer, that's something to watch. So if you can continue to progress and make good plays, that's big for this program.
That was a beautiful charge taken by Jess Mormon on that play. Obviously, Timmer's got a little bit of size on her, and she kept her feet set, took it like a champ.
And it's just Schmidt crosses the timeline. 8-8, we're knotted early on. Pass intended for Mormon off the mark. That's the Knights in transition. Brown off the mark, rebounded by Bosco. DeSchmidt finds Muller. Muller runs into some traffic. Swings to Mormon, over to Muller. Muller goes inside to Bosco, working on the elbow. Bosco's nowhere to go with the basketball. The 3-second violation, it's a turnover, and the Knights will retain possession.
That's the right idea from the Hope offense on that. Though when Gabby Timmer's out, it's going to be really important to utilize the size of Hope post players. Like I mentioned before the game, Gabby Timmer is the only player on Kelvin's team that has substantial size to keep up with Hope's big. So while she's not in the game, using the ball and getting it inside is going to be really good strategy to get some points on the board for Hope.
3-point attempt off the mark for Cooley. Russell to Schmidt for 3. In and out, no good, and it's rebounded by the Knights. It's Cooley in transition. Baseline jumper, nothing but net. Malia Harris, that looks smooth, the freshman from Frisco, Texas.
Both teams are playing all out right now, as we can see from this energy, though. At some points, the execution's been a little suspect. As it keeps progressing throughout the game, it's definitely going to help if you can finish possessions as Hope does there.
And Muller gets it to go, so we're knotted at 10 apiece. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Driving inside of the kick-out pass to Brown. Off the mark, 3-point attempt, battle for position. Ball stays inbounds. And it's just Schmidt in transition, crosses the timeline, directing traffic. 24 seconds on the shot clock. It's Mormon top of the key over to Muller. Muller pass intended for Barnes. It's tipped away. Muller will regain possession. Coach Morehouse wants to take a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here, 10-10. We're knotted early on, 3:55 remaining in the first quarter. Noah, talk me through what we've seen from this Calvin team early on that's led to a 10-10 score.
Well, Calvin's been very aggressive. They've had a lot of on-ball pressure defense, which has led to a few turnovers and misplays by Hope, and they've been able to knock down a few shots and stay in the game while their star's out. And they've been definitely fortunate from a few missed Hope shots as well.
And then for Hope, Rosa, this is a team that's known for scoring in bunches, haven't really been able to do so far. Combination of missed shots and good Calvin defense. What is Hope need to do coming out of the timeout to start getting in a roll offensively?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, like we were highlighting at the beginning of the game, just keeping their composure. I think, again, the pressure of this game, it's a big rivalry. Just Hope knows how to score. They know how to play their own game. They just have to sit down, do the work, make it happen.
Thomas with a strong move. She fouls right to the line to shoot two. Rose, you talked about this being the rivalry game. This is the 125th game in the rivalry. Hope trails all time 71 to 53, but they've won 38 of the past 53 games. So you've seen under the tenure of Coach Morehouse, really this has started to shift in the favor of Hope. But any team can beat any team on any given night, and you're seeing both teams jostling for what would be a huge conference win in the early going.
Yeah, I do think it's really important to keep a level head going into absolutely every game. Again, like we mentioned previously in the season, Hope beat this Calvin team by over 25 points. But as you've seen tonight, it's a really close game, and you can't underestimate anybody, and you can't just bank on your own talent at any point. You have to come into every game and be ready to execute.
And Coors loses possession, and it'll be Hope basketball. It'll be Ashley Thomas to inbound from the scores table.
That was rough for Calvin. Overall, you got to show a little bit more composure than that. Definitely this high-pressure Hope defense has caused a few struggles.
And Spoonbell gets the basket to go. That's her first points of the evening, 13-10, a three-point Hope lead. Coors stops, mid-range jumper off the mark, rebounded by Barnes. Barnes fights through traffic to get it to DeSmit. DeSmit in transition. Finds Morehouse. Morehouse drives inside, runs through traffic, throws it up off the glass, and it'll be an offensive foul. Nice job by Kara Minderheim, the senior guard from Grand Rapids, Michigan, prior to coming to Christian High School to draw the foul.
Another great defensive play, moving the feet well and creating position to draw the charge.
Coors defended well by DeSmit. Ball goes out of play. It'll stay with the Knights with 22 seconds on the shot clock. 2:50 remaining in quarter number one. It's a slim three-point Flying Dutch lead. And DeSmit will be called for the foul. It'll be her first, team's fourth foul. And we got to make sure they don't get in the foul trouble early on in the first quarter and send this Calvin team to the free throw line. Coors to inbound. Finds Brown redirected to Harris. Harris goes down low. And it's Coors now on the perimeter in front of the Hope bench. It's Brown, under 10 on the shot clock. Three-point attempt. It is up, and it's no good. And it's Hope in transition. Outlet pass goes to Schoonveld, but it's stolen. It's Brown. It's a 2-on-1. Harris in transition gets it to go with the left hand.
That was a sloppy response on Hope's end of things, responding to Calvin struggling to keep their composure in that play. Pushing it a little too hard in transition. It's hard to say that sometimes. Normally that's a really good option to beat the other team down the court, but Calvin was ready for that. They were sprinting back on defense and beat Hope's players, and I don't think Hope guard Lauren Newman was ready for that. Threw the pass away without intending and looking up to see where her players were positioned, and the defense that Calvin had set up really well going into that play.
And that's Brown with the bucket, so it's 14-13 the Calvin lead. So the basket will be no good. And there'll be another offensive foul. We see on the replay. That was barely an offensive foul. She's standing literally on the restricted line, but The call goes the way of the Knights, and so it's 14-13. It'll be Knights possession, 30 seconds on the shot clock. 1:42 remaining in quarter number 1.
Unfortunately, Hope lost a pretty large momentum boost there. With Timmer out of the game, they weren't able to extend the lead and actually gave up a lot of transition buckets. Overall, that's been really the only way Kelvin scored. So if you can limit those turnovers, you could definitely get back and dominate this game.
And it's Muller in transition. The timeline finds the outlet in Schoonveld. Schoonveld top of the perimeter, gets bodied up from Brown. Bosco inside the paint, runs into a wall, and it's Barnes. And it'll be another 3-second violation, the second one we've seen so far tonight on behalf of the Flying Dutch team.
The rest of this game are obviously going to be paying really close attention to that call, which if you think about the context of the game with the presence that bigs are going to play, I don't really blame them for watching that really carefully and making sure that nothing gets by. No one's going to cut any corners on either end of the floor tonight.
And that was Sydney Clear, the freshman from Middleville, Michigan, called for the traveling violation, and it'll be a turnover. Hope will inbound. It'll be Barnes to Mormon, that is number 23, Newman, the junior. Schoonveld gets some help from Bosco, drives inside, strong move with the right hand off the glass, it's good. Gains the lead under a minute to play, 15-14, 45 seconds remaining on the shot clock. 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Basket is no good. Is intended by Rebecca Bovey. Newman. 5-second differential between shot clock, game clock. Schoonveld wants to go inside, kicks out to Bosco. Bosco top of the key. Approaching 10 seconds on the shot clock, 15 seconds left in the quarter. Barnes puts the ball on the floor, drives the left hand, and gets the roll. 17-14, the three-point lead. Shot clock turned off, 5 seconds remaining. And the shot is no good. Misses everything. 0.1 seconds remaining in the quarter. Time for a quick catch and shoot. Calvin will inbound, baseline left. Minderhound to inbound. And the shot is no good. They'll take us down to the first quarter. Hope for the 17-14 lead. It's been fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
At Lawrence and Vanderswart, we are interested in the history of our community. In 1851, Holland's founder Albertus Van Raalte wanted to establish a secondary school where students could get the best education with an emphasis on Christian character. Originally called Pioneer School, Van Raalte set up classes in an orphanage on 12th Street. By 1857, the new Van Vleck Hall was completed. It provided classrooms, a library, and housing for 10 students, along with the school principal. In 1862, the school was renamed Hope College, and the first graduating class received their diplomas in the spring of 1866. Innovation and ambition today can pay dividends for decades. Lawrence and Vanderswart, interested in our history, invested in our future.
Back inside the DeVos Fieldhouse for John Crispin alongside Rose Thompson and Noah Russo. Hope with the early 17-14 leads them back and forth in the early ongoing. Noah, what do we want to see from this Calvin team? Coming out of the break, they're down 3, but it's been back and forth. What do they need to do to solidify their lead?
Well, Calvin's defense, despite Hope's high shooting percentage, has been pretty exceptional, forcing turnovers. They've been doubling a lot in the paint, which has led to some mistakes by bigs, and they need to avoid every bit of that. Can't turn the ball over. Athletic. And you're going to have to try. You're 0 of 6 right now. season average, and just got to generate better opportunities.
14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And the shot is blocked by Voskuhl. Early invitation to the block party, no RSVP necessary. It's Hope in transition. Moeller to Mormon, swings it to Newman. Pass intended inside for Voskuhl, working with the right hand. Nice backdoor pass to Mormon, left the backdoor wide open. It's 21-14.
Yeah, that play was specifically designed to get an isolation look for Voskuhl on that, but it worked so well that they left Mormon wide open right under the a really easy two-footer and execution beautifully.
Fours. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Morehouse can't believe the call. Waiting for a number, it will be Voskuhl who picks up a foul. It'll be her team's first of the period. Coming to the game for the Knights, number 24, Gabby Timmer. The Knights will try to get her going. And the jumper no good, rebounded by Schoonveld. Knights in the press. Muller goes down low to Voskuhl. Voskuhl thinks about it, now shoots. Jumper off the mark, is working on Timmer. And it's Minderhound now in transition. Being worked on by Schoonveld. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Drives inside. Kicks out. Three-point attempt, it was up. No good. Timmer with the strong rebound. Can't get the follow-up to go. That's Voskuhl with the rebound and Hope in business.
Calvin's 0 of 8 from 3 right now. If I was Hope, I'd definitely just sit in the paint and let them shoot until they prove that they can make them. And just put bodies on bodies and try to make Calvin earn it.
Muller thinks about it, goes cross court. To Newman, Voskuhl inside, strong move with the right hand, off the mark, but it's rebounded by Newman, but couldn't get to go, and so it's the Knights in transition. And Cooley's pass intended for Harris, off the mark, out of play. It'll be Hope possession. 7:19 remaining in half number 1. And into the game for the Flying Dutch, because number 4, Claire Bagley, the freshman from Ada, Michigan, product of Forest Hills Central High School. Really been a good offensive player for Morehouse in the early part of this season. Schmidt crosses the timeline over to Muller, who swings it to Bagley. 18 of the shot clock goes downstairs to Muller. Muller through traffic finds Barnes. Barnes working on Timmer, has to kick out to Schmidt. Schmidt thinks about it, goes behind the back. Kicks out to Muller. Muller for 3, off the mark. Ball goes out of play, off the body of Timmer. And Hope will inbound baseline left. 20 seconds on the shot clock. And so Coach Krister, first year season at the helm for the Knights, wants to talk things over. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. 6:52 remaining in quarter number 2. The Orange and Blue Fund fans exist to help support the mission of Hope College and the athletics program, which have a lasting impact on student athletes and coaches. More than 500 student athletes participate in Hope's athletic program each year. The gifts you give support enhancements that promote academic success, competitive excellence, and transformational experiences. Each year, the athletics administration team and coaches will work together to identify the greatest needs, wishes, and desires for the Hope Athletics program that cannot be addressed through other financial avenues. Learn more at hope.edu/orange and blue. Donate today. The inbound pass forward to Schmidt finds Muller. Barnes on the elbow, drives inside. Strong move with the left hand, working on Timmer, and it's good.
Calvin's been exposed so far by Hope's length, and that's definitely been a key to this run.
I was just going to say that Barnes did a beautiful job on that play. That's actually her second straight drive to the basket with her left hand. She's not left-handed, throwing that out there against Gabby Timmer, where she just didn't hesitate, used her body, got her on her inside shoulder, and was able to finish through the contact, even though it didn't get called. But That's just a beautiful growth in confidence out of Barnes, something that's been evident in her play this season.
Bagley. On the perimeter. Finds Barnes down low. Triple team kicks it out to Mormon, and Mormon sinks the tray. First points of the evening for Jess Mormon. Excuse me, that's 7 points on the evening for Jess Mormon. So 26-14, Hope has opened it up. In the second quarter, 3-point attempt is nothing is good for Harris. No, you talked about them needing to hit from beyond the line. They did just that.
Yeah, we hadn't seen a 3 hit yet in the game, and they just go back-to-back on each other. Great move there by Bagley, or by Barnes.
Same thing, strong take off the dribble through Gabby Timmer.
Minderhound drives inside, kicks out, round shot off the mark, rebounded by Bagley. Hope in transition. Muller is fouled by Harris. So it'll be Harris's first foul, team's first of the evening. Coming to the game for the Knights, it's number 23. Sarah Neely, the freshman guard from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. And Russell and Schoonveld check in for the Flying Ducks. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Russell to Schoonveld, top of the perimeter. Over to Barnes. Barnes has room, kicks out Schoonveld. Being worked on by Harris. Gets a screen from Barnes, kicks to Russell, back to Barnes. Barnes drives left, kicks to Mormon on the free throw line and sinks the jumper. Mormon hot as of late. 30-17. Timmer inside, awkward looking shot off the mark.
Calvin looks tired right now. They're going to try to get through these last 5 minutes without giving up too much of a lead, but definitely needing a little blow for these best players.
Russell with a nice ball fake. Sarah Neely from Calvin picks up her first foul, team's second, off number 12 for Russell. And Hope will inbound baseline right. And see the baseline jumper from Mormon get his goal. So it's Schoonveld, approaching 15 on the shot clock. Schoonveld from the high elbow off the mark, and it's rebounded by the Knights. Harris being bodied by DeSchmidt. Awkward looking drive, but passes inside and it's good. It's number 21, Rebecca Bovey, the junior freshman. Excuse me, the junior forward.
And that was a great slip down low, able to generate some space and get an easy look.
Sarah Neely picks up her second foul. In quick order, 3 team fouls for Calvin, and Mormon comes out to a well-deserved round of applause. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Schoonveld drives inside. With the left hand, no good. Fights for a rebound, but to no avail, and it's the Knights in transition. Out of play, ball will stay with the Knights.
Even though she couldn't come up with it, that was a good hustle play from Ashley Thomas. Defending someone who's significantly smaller than her, but she's using her long arms, and she does have enough speed to keep up with someone that plays primarily a guard position. Got a touch on it, but unfortunately got knocked out of bounds.
Harris step back jumper off the front of the iron, no good. It's the Schmidt in transition. Schmidt goes cross court to Russell, over to Schoonveld. Schoonveld to Barnes, over to the Schmidt, wants Thomas down low. She's triple team. Ball bounces around for turnover. And
one of their post players up at the top of the key and isolate the other one on the inside. Obviously, Calvin doesn't have the size to keep up with one post player in at a time, let alone two that are significantly outsizing their defense.
Newman over to Barnes, 15 on the shot clock. Barnes to Thomas. Thomas goes cross court to Russell.
There it is.
Inside to Thomas. Roses called it. Ashley Thomas off the glass with the left hand. It's 34-20.
That's a beautiful give and go look pass from between Russell and Thomas on that. Thomas was at the top of the wing, passed it to Russell, cut really hard and got past her defense, easy layup.
Greenbelt with the right hand off the glass is good. And Kristen wants to talk things over. And it'll be a 30-second timeout, 36-20, 1:38 remaining in half number one. Fans, make sure to sign up for the stream. Front row. Mobile app can list for updates, statistics, and game recaps on your phone. It's free. Hope Athletics Front Row mobile app. Sign up for any of the sports that you want to follow, including women's basketball. You set the preferences and search Hope Athletics on the App Store Google Play, or learn more at athletics.hope.edu/front row. Noah, do you have the Front Row mobile app?
Sorry, technical difficulties. Overall, I believe we're probably talking about Calvin's struggles. They're just definitely getting outclassed right now. And overall, they just have kind of gotten out of their rhythm. And Hope's taking advantage of that, forcing turnovers and getting easy baskets.
So it's Cleary inside to Timmer. No good. Timmer gets on the rebound, but it's blocked from behind by Bosco. Battle on the 4-4 possession. And Coach Morash wants to call timeout. And Coach Christner wants a foul. It's a 30-second timeout. 36-20, 1:21 remaining in the first half. Take a look at the replay there. Battle for possession. Morehouse called the timeout before the foul. Coach Christner's absolutely wanted a foul. Didn't get it. Frustration's building up for this Calvin team. And so, Noah, if you're this Calvin team, what do you need to tell your players in the huddle down 16, 1:21 remaining before halftime?
Well, we need to execute better. We had a great first quarter, and we've definitely gotten out of our rhythm. Hope's taking advantage with their length, and we just need to pick up the pressure again. Definitely got tired throughout the second quarter. And you need Olivia Voskel to not make threes.
And Voskel for three, and Rose Voskel, one of those players not really known for hitting from beyond the arc, but had the open shot, said why not, we're up 16 and get them to go. Just shows that versatility within this team that is so deep up and down their bench. And it's 39-22 under a minute to play. Newman to Voskel, inside to Thomas. Thomas, strong move with the left hand. Is off the mark, but still head to the line to shoot two.
Again, that was a high-low look from the post players of Hope, and clearly they've had nothing but success on that. I don't know if Calvin's not ready for that type of movement, but they've had so many open isolation plays where they just pin their defender right behind them. And again, when you have probably 6 inches on on the person that's trying to defend you 2 feet from the basket, it's really hard not to at least get fouled, let alone put the ball through the bucket. No problem.
And Mormon comes back into the game. Coach Christian still arguing with the officiating crew about that no call. His team's down 18, bigger things to worry about. 30 seconds remaining. Fours inside, pass intended for Harris. It's batted away, it's stolen. Hope in transition. It's Newman who wants to slow things down. Shot clock turned off, 15 seconds remaining. Newman on the base of the anchor, being guarded by Cleary. 10 seconds remaining. It's Schoonveld. Inside to Muller. Muller being double teamed. Muller with a strong move with the right hand off the mark. And that'll take us to halftime. Hope up 40-22. It's the 125th anniversary of the rivalry. Make sure to stick around. We'll see you on the other side of the break, which should be an exciting second half. That's for Brashawn Crispin, Rose Thompson, and Noah Russo. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
At Lawrence and Vanderswart, we are interested in the history of our community. The early Dutch settlers knew that in order for the tiny Holland community to flourish, they were going to need the shipping industry to stop by. So they began digging the channel, without help from the government, all by themselves. The dream of a real lighthouse was realized in 1936, when it switched on its big light for the very first time. The ships came, the lighthouse became an icon, and the ambition and hard work of those early settlers continues to bless our community to this day. Innovation and ambition today can pay dividends for decades. Lawrence and Vanderswart, interested in our history, invested in our future.
The rivalry.
The rivalry.
The rivalry.
The rivalry.
The rivalry between Hope and Calvin is super special because there's none other like it in Division III women's basketball.
So it means a lot of different things, but one of the things I'm really excited about, like to play in the game, is the energy and the passion that everyone brings to the game and the crowd, and it's just a really hyped up game, so that's really fun.
Coming to the Calvin game, like it's always been packed and everyone's always super energized and excited.
It's one of those things, whether you're on the bench or you're on the court, it's just you have this adrenaline and it brings so much energy to the game, and it can be a little nerve-wracking at times, but I think that's what makes it so special and makes it like no other game.
It means competition.
Just 40 minutes of playing in an intense environment, and it has a history of just being super competitive, which makes it really fun.
The community is always super involved. Our professors get super excited, so it's fun to kind of chat about it in classes.
Just the entire thing is always a really big deal, and it feels like we work so hard up until and after this game. So we just come out, and Calvin always plays really well against us.
And it's just great that both communities come together for such a special game, and it's just really competitive and a great way to bring both communities together.
Playing against Calvin, you're kind of playing for the people that played before you and the people that are coming after you. And
we're just super excited to be able to play in it again this year. We're just excited to have a great competitive game.
At Lawrence and Vanderswart, we're interested in the history of our community. When 26-year-old jeweler Jacob Raven came to Holland in 1889, the northwest corner of 8th Street and River Avenue was already home to the thriving Holland City State Bank. Raven told bank personnel that he wanted to build a clock above the bank to keep the town on time, and it wouldn't cost them a cent. True to his word, Raven raised the funds with donations from merchants and local factories. High above the city streets, the tower was completed in 1892. Holland's clock tower still ticks high above 8th Street, watching over a town that still loves to run on time. Innovation and ambition today can pay dividends for decades. Lawrence and Vanderswart, interested in our history, invested in our future.
Welcome back inside the DeVos Fieldhouse for the second half of this conference matchup between the Knights of Calvin University and the Flying Dutch of Hope College. For John Crispin alongside Rose Thompson and Noah Russo. Hope up 40-22. This was a tie game at 1 point late in the first quarter, and Hope really pulled away in the second quarter. And now all of a sudden they're up 18. Rose, what does this Hope team have to do to keep the foot on the gas and maintain this pressure? Sometimes it's easy to get a little lackadaisical with this large lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to take your own words, I would say keep their foot on the gas, clearly. But no, just maintain their offensive efficiency. They've done a really good job of beating Calvin in a foot race up and down the court in transition. They've beat them in the drive game. They've isolated their post players really well. They haven't shot the ball super well from the three-point line. Couple good shots here and there. Maybe look to continue to diversify that. But honestly, if I'm Brian Morehouse, if I'm this Hope College team, I probably wouldn't be looking to change a whole lot, just to maintain what we've already accomplished in the first half.
And then on the Calvin side, Gabby Tamer's been held to only 2 points so far. What does this Calvin team need to do to get back into this game down 18 on the road?
Well, Kelvin definitely showed their lack of talent in that second quarter. They hung in there a while in the first, and their efforts definitely how they're going to stay in this game. Obviously, they do have enough talent to win conference games, and it's going to start with getting Timber more involved and not getting exposed as much on defense, as they just haven't shown an ability to stay in front of their man.
So 7 seconds on the shot clock. We get a whistle stop and play.
Gabby Timmer got called for that foul on Olivia Voskuhl. The unfortunate look. Hacked her on the arm. That's not something you want to see if you're head coach Christner. Not ideal with Hope's size again, and Timmer being one of the only players that can actually maintain that.
And only 2 more fouls, and she's done for the evening. So something that I think would be in Coach Morehouse's mind is he wants to make sure to get her out of position and to get their #1 threat on the bench for the rest of the evening. And Voskuhl sinks them back into 2. So it's 42-25, 9 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. Harris in the corner being guarded by Muller, goes cross court. Driving baseline. And now it's Cooley. Over to Kors. Kors right down Broadway with the right hand and gets the lucky roll. It's 42-27.
That was a great job by Kors, able to attack the lane, keep her defender on her hip, and finish strong. Definitely a speed burst that we see throughout the second half.
Newman picks up a dribble and finds Muller. Inside to Voskuhl, working on the elbow. Voskuhl double team, has to kick out. That's Newman for 3 off the front of the iron, no good, but it's rebounded by Schoonveld. Thomas has it over to Muller in front of the Hope bench. Muller drives left, step back jumper from the elbow, gets it to go. Smooth shot from Sydney. 44-27. Cooley with it now, being guarded by Newman. Cooley, nowhere to go, fights through traffic. That pass is high and upstairs and out of play. And it'll be a turnover, and Mormon comes to the game for Thomas.
And that's a look of how this hole is kind of dug. They definitely executed much better in the first quarter, and that definitely has fallen by the wayside. If you can try to set up a little bit more offense, I haven't seen any pick and rolls really so far. Just try to diversify your attack. That's really going to be the only way you stay in this game.
And this is a Hope team that is known for winning in transition and getting those fast break points. So Noah, to your point, if you could slow this Hope team down, make them play an offense, and Calvin has played well defensively in set, just not in transition. I think it's one of those things that can help Calvin get back into this matchup. They're not out of it yet, but as the game goes on, the clock becomes more of the enemy. So something to watch for as this game continues to progress. It's Schoonveld being guarded by Hinderlund.
Oh.
And Krishna with the emphatic foul call, he'll get it. Schoonveld is called for the foul. That's her second. She has 6 points on the evening. And Cooley drives, and she's fouled by Muller. And that'll be Muller's first foul. A series of substitutions will come in for the Knights. And number 21, Rebecca Bovey, the junior forward.
That was a great high screen play, able to get the defender off of Cooley, and she did a great job staying patient, just methodically lulling her defender and able to draw a foul.
So 7:30 remaining in quarter number 3 as the shot is up and it is good from Cooley. Her 3rd point of the contest. 20 seconds on the shot clock. It's Muller. Inside, Voskuhl loses control. It's kick outside. Schoonveld for 3 off the mark. No good. Voskuhl fighting for the rebound. Finds Muller. Muller thinks about it, being guarded by Harris. Muller drives baseline, kicks to Voskuhl. Voskuhl ties it up. Jump ball. Possession will favor the Knights. And they'll take over. 6:46 remaining in the third quarter. Hope up 44-28.
Even though they didn't come up with a basket on that play, that was a really good persistent consistency from the Hope offense on that side of things. Chasing down offensive rebounds, keeping their composure, moving the ball around instead of forcing a look that's not going to necessarily come up with something. Again, even though they didn't score, it's a good thing to be looking for this Hope offense.
And that is Kobe who's stripped underneath, and so the Knights will inbound baseline left. It'll be Harris with 9 seconds on the shot clock. He gets on the foot here and finds Brown. Brown being worked on by Mormon. Brown with the left hand kicks to Cooley. Cooley for 3 over the outstretched arms of Newman. No good. Rebounded by Bosco.
Amazing stat. Kelvin's shooting 8% from 3 right now, as they pick up an offensive foul to work in their favor, but overall, it just doesn't seem the three-point game's going to work tonight, and they definitely should keep going to this high pick and roll because that's how they've generated both their foul shots.
And so it's Harris to Brown. Brown working on Mormon. Timmer kicks out, mishandled, and goes into the Knights bench. And Schmidt checks back in for the Flying Dutch. 5:34 remaining in the third quarter. 5:54, excuse me. It'll be Mormon to inbound to Schmidt. Calvin in the press. Schoonveld to Mormon to Muller. Approaching 10 on the shot clock. Schoonveld puts the ball on the floor. Strong move with the right hand.
Good isolation play. Good composure from Mormon, or from Schoonveld on that play. She had 3 defenders within 2 feet of her and still was able to use her body, get good position, and finish the ball strong through the hoop.
Again, we see Kelvin take a 3 early in the possession. Obviously need to generate some offense, though. That just hasn't been working so far.
Schmidt, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Mormon backdoor inside, no good. Off the mark, and it's rebounded by the Knights. And so Harris brings the ball across the floor. Harris drives right. Harris is stripped, runs into a wall of defenders. It'll be a foul, an offensive foul. That's on Harris.
Harris is pretty out of control there. The defender had plenty of time to set up and draw that charge. Although she's been having a pretty good game tonight. Harris has hit a couple good mid-range shots. That one just didn't work out for her.
Schmidt gets some help from Mormon. Mormon to Russell. Barnes puts the ball on the floor out to Russell. 10 seconds on the shot clock, being double teamed, has to backtrack. Pass inside, ball's on the floor. Chaotic sequence of events, and it's the Knights in transition. And that goes Hungerland and gets it to 46-30.
Way to finish off of a turnover, good transition play.
Muller's 3 off the mark. And it'll be Calvin possession.
A couple kind of squirrely possessions from Hope on offense. Couldn't keep the ball under control, turned it over on the previous possession, and then just now probably took a shot that, was a good look. Muller's a good person that you want to be shooting that 3 ball, but could have taken more time off the shot clock and maybe gotten a better look.
Harris goes cross court. Minderhound is fouled. That's Caleb Russell who picks up his first and team's 5th. So the Knights will go to the free throw line. It's Minderhow to shoot the 1-on-1. And it's up and it's good.
Calvin's been shooting a lot of free throws this quarter, been doing a good job getting to the line, although it hasn't really chipped into the lead yet by slowing this game down and generating free throw opportunities. That's definitely how you want to attack going forward.
So it's 46-32. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Barnes, top of the elbow. DeSchmidt thinks about it. Goes cross court. Muller drives the left hand, being worked on by Harris. For Norman off the mark. Ball goes out of play. And it'll stay with the Knights.
And a few of these possessions are exactly what Calvin needs, able to get some free throw opportunities, force some turnovers, get Hope out of sync a little bit, and they're slowly lulling it back into this lead.
Kors kicks out. Harris for three, off the mark. Schoonveld. Barnes in. Strong move with the right hand, and it's good. Courtney Barnes reaches double figures this evening with 10, 48-32. And the shot is no good, and it's to Smith. Schoonveld. Barnes inside, pass him for Mormon, out of play. And it'll stay with the Flying Dutch.
DeSchmidt taking the ball out for Hope. Finds Kayla in the corner, Kayla Russell. Up to the top of the key for Voskuhl. She thinks about taking the drive, almost turns it over. DeSchmidt comes up with the ball. Drives it, past her defender. Goes for the layup, misses it. Calvin in transition. That's Kors with the ball. Harrison tried for the three, couldn't get it to go. And Kennedy Schoonveld with the ball in transition for Hope.
And shockingly, Calvin did miss another three. They're going to definitely need some of these to fall if they're going to try and chip away at this.
Casey DeSchmidt attempted for Hope. Missed it again, and that is...
Kors able to hit her second three of the night. Good job going up and taking the opportunity, as it's only a 13-point game.
Ball screen from Voskuhl for Schoonveld. Kicks it out to Russell in the corner, up to the top of the key for Barnes. Skips it to Schoonveld. Looking for the isolation play for Voskuhl in the middle of the key. Barnes tries to force it for a layup. Trying to get the contact, doesn't get the call. And it'll be Hope ball out of bounds.
And the offense felt a little bit stagnant there for Hope, and it seems as if they might also want to get to this break, try to regroup a little bit as they substitute, and just try to get a little bit more momentum going into the fourth.
Newman, ball out of bounds for Hope. Kicks it to Schoonveld, finds Newman at the top of the key. Shoots the three, can't get it to go. And the ball is off of Kelvin, out of bounds, and it'll stay on the baseline. Baseline right for Hope. They'll take it out of bounds once again.
And that's a killer for Kelvin. Hope's had the ball for almost 40 seconds on the offensive end. That's just too much time off the clock for you not to have offensive opportunities.
Hope struggling to maintain controlled possession of the game a little bit here. And Kelvin's number 30 gets called for the foul. That's Sydney Cleary. That's her first. Team's fourth for the quarter. Schoonveld has the ball from the inbounds play, finds Voskuhl. Easy layup for Voskuhl. 2 feet from the basket. Calvin inbounds it and is going the other way.
Great offensive play. Voskuhl just able to slip out of there. No one recognizes that. She's going to the right side, sets up an easy opportunity.
Bovey with the ball for Hope, passes to Cleary, who turns it over. And Hope can't keep possession of the ball either, and Calvin is back in transition. Cooley with the ball for Calvin. Russell playing good, strong defense. And that'll be the end of the quarter.
Back inside the Voss Fieldhouse, Brajan Christopher alongside Noah Russo and Rose Thompson, 50-35. The Hope lead as we are underway. It's Cleary being worked on by Muller. Cleary. Ball is tipped by Schoonveld in front of the scorer's table. Minderhout. Defended well, and it's Timmer, baseline jumper off the mark, no good, rebounded by Newman.
Hope's done a great job keeping Timmer off of her game tonight. She's kind of looked uncomfortable, unable to assert herself really well in the post.
Beautiful strong take from Schoonveld from the top of from the right side wing into the middle of the court, past 3 defenders, finishes strong, easy layup, 2 points for Hope.
And so it's Cleary. Crosses over, finds Timmer inside. Short runner is good, 52-37. 9 minutes remaining.
We haven't seen tonight. Guards haven't been really attacking the paint with force, and that definitely sets up the bigs to get easy opportunities.
And the shot is off the mark. And Kors is hit hard by Voskuhl. And it'll be Calvin's possession. That'll be Voskuhl's second. Team's first of the period as Harris comes in for the Knights, and out comes Cooley. It'll be a fresh shot clock for the Knights. Harris will bring the ball up the floor, 52-37. Harris with 2 points. She's with 5 points on the evening. Kors steps back. Picks up her dribble, and it's stolen and tipped by Muller. Muller in transition, strong move with the right hand off the mark, puts Barnes on cleanup crew, and is hit and fouls right at the line of complete for 3-point play. Elbow to the face, and she'll head to the line.
That was a beautiful hustle down the court from Barnes. She just went for it and got lucky and got that offensive board, and Calvin was not about to let her do that, even though she finished it anyway, got the foul call. She'll go to the line.
So it's Barnes on the line. Barnes with 12 points, make it 13. A solid all-around night from Courtney Barnes. And it's Harris. She brings the ball off the floor, crosses midcourt, working on Newman. Drives left, picks up her dribble, finds Cleary top of the key. Brown over to Kinder Mountain, and three-point attempt to this up and good for Harris. And Morehouse wants to take a timeout. And it's a full timeout, 55-40, 15-point lead, 8:10 remaining in regulation, one step away.
We've intentionally never had minimum account sizes. Our philosophy has always been, if you're willing to put in the work and we'll collaborate and we set the plan in place and you're willing to go along with this plan and to put forth effort to this plan, we're happy to work with you. It's what we love to do. And so we have people coming in from the very starting point all the way to, to the wealthy people. It's all different scenarios. Financial planning is not just for the wealthy.
$55-40 your score, Hope up 15. They've cruised to a large lead since the beginning of the second half. 8 minutes remaining in regulation. And it's Schoonveld inside, pass center for Muller. It's tipped away. Muller inside to Newman. Newman has to get rid of it quickly to Barnes, and Barnes is fouled by Brown. That'll be her first of the evening, Brown 2 points, and team second. Bosco inside. And Bosco, second chance, gets it off the glass, that's good. 57-40, Bosco crosses into double figures with 11. 7:35 remaining. Schoonveld with defensive pressure. And the jumper is off the mark. That was Minderhout, and that's Newman now. Calvin in the press.
Newman doing a really good job of keeping her composure through this Calvin pressure. Doesn't hesitate, well, does hesitate, but in a good way. Jukes out her defender and gets the ball successfully up the court to run the Hope offense.
Muller, cross court to Schoonveld. Schoonveld drives inside the left hand, whistle stopping play, it'll be a foul. And the foul will be on Cleary. It'll be her second. And team's third into the game comes Cooley, out comes Cleary. Hope will inbound at the baseline left. 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Calvin's starting to run out of time as Barnes, who's had a great night, comes out of the game. Though, if they're going to make a 7-minute push, they're going to have to start pressing or playing some type of up-tempo defense.
Schoonveld picks up her dribble, finds Muller in the corner to Bosco down low in the elbow. Kicks out. Newman for three, off the mark, no good, rebounded by Timmer. And Cooley at the top of the perimeter. Cooley to Harris, working on Muller. Cross court, Brown for three, off the mark, no good. Whistle stopping play, foul. And the foul will be on Sydney Muller. That'll be her second. She has a 10-piece on the evening, and it's the team's second foul. 6:26 remaining in regulation. In comes Kayla Russell. And out comes Russell with 1 foul, no points. Plenty of time to change that narrative. Harris inbounds to Cooley. Cooley to Harris. Harris for 3, no good. Strong rebound by Bosco. And it's Mormon to Newman, who will bring the ball up the floor. Newman, 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Bosco, Russell for 3, and it's good.
Taylor Russell, also not really known as a three-point shooter, doesn't hesitate and knocks it down.
Cooley being double teamed. It's Timmer.
That's a really good ball screen trap execution from Hope's defense and the good recovery ball. So on that play, Gabby Timmer slipped the ball screen, and as Hope was trapping, that left her wide open on the wing, but Jess Mormon did a really great job of recovering and finding that and a turnover for Hope. Turnover for Calvin in Hope's favor.
Minderhow being pressured by Russell. It's Harris now, drives baseline. Harris for 3, way off the mark. No good. Excuse me, that was Brown.
Calvin shows great ball movement there, unable to hit the 3, but a great foul by Timmer.
60 to 42. Newman, nice ball fake with the left hand, and it's good. And Morehouse wants to talk things over. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Fans, make sure to stay tuned to some upcoming sports events here at Hope College on Saturday, January 18th. The men's basketball team hosts Adrian after the Voss Fieldhouse at 3 p.m. Make your plans to be with us then. And a some more update for you. Latest edition of the Rivalry currently being held in Vanguard between the Knights of Calvin University up 24-19 on the Flying Dutchman with a minute left in the first half. And on Wednesday, January 22nd, at 7:30 p.m., a week from today, the women's basketball team hosts Alma at the Voss Fieldhouse. So make your plans to be with us or visit hope.edu/athletics for more information. So the lead is 20. Harris to inbound to Cooley. Calvin has their work cut out for them as we approach 5 minutes remaining. Cooley working on to Schmidt. Cooley picks up her dribble, finds Timmer, baseline jumper, no good, off the mark. Battle for possession. Schoonfeld wanted the rebound, but it's the Knights with possession. Cooley drives with the right hand, kicks out to, that was number 23, Neely, who was off the mark, a whistle stopping play. And that was Cooley's call for the foul. That's her first and team's 4th foul, 4:39 remaining in regulation.
Calvin's looking for any type of spark from the three-point line that just hasn't come tonight. And that's definitely been a difference in this game. Calvin's taken almost 20 threes and has only successfully made 3.
Skip pass from Russell to Thomas on the wing. Thomas drives it, tries to isolate, and Mormon gets the second chance rebound. Puts it up, misses it, puts it up again, gets called for the foul, she'll shoot 2.
You love the effort by Jess Mormon, not giving up on the play. It doesn't matter what any point in the game is, what the score is, just hustling and trying to get some buckets.
Absolutely. Leave it to Jess to always bring effort and energy to the game and on the bench and in the locker room. She's an energy giver wherever she is.
So Coors fouls out of the game, so her night is done. Solid effort from Stephanie Coors. It's Mormon on the line. Sinks the front end of the 1-and-1. 4:15 remaining in regulation. Conversation with Coach Morehouse and the officiating crew as Mormon gets set to shoot the back end of her 1-and-1. The shot is up and it is good. As Megan Morehouse checks into the game. And out comes Russell. Cooley will bring the ball up the floor. 4 minutes remaining. Cooley gets a screen from Brown. Harris being guarded by Schoonveld. Cross court to Cooley, being worked on by DeSchmidt. DeSchmidt with a strong defensive pressure. Goes right, awkward looking shot, misses everything. Up for possession, it's a jump ball. And possession arrow favors the Flying Dutch.
Some positives to look at for Calvin tonight. They have shown an ability to make some plays. Without Timmer in the game, it was a hostile environment, and for a while they hung in there. And regardless of the outcome, they have made some good plays.
In case DeSchmidt picks up a foul, it'll be her third. And team's fourth.
That call for the illegal screen on that play. It was the right call. She was moving. She was trying to hip check her on the screen instead of getting in good position. Unfortunate turnover for Hope.
So Cooley ties it up with DeSchmidt. It'll be another jump ball. And the possession arrow will favor the Knights. So it'll be Brown to inbound, 3:33 remaining in the fourth quarter as Schoonveld checks out likely for the last time this evening. It's Harris, base of the anchor, being guarded by Muller. Harris gets some help from Timmer. Harris off the glass with the right hand, too strong, and it's DeSchmidt in transition. DeSchmidt kicks to Morehouse. Morehouse with the ball fake, kicks to Moorman for three. And Jess Moorman from downtown gets it to go. She was 14 this evening. Cooley is blocked by Moorman. And we get a whistle. And the foul will be on number 23, Neely. That'll be her third foul. And so the Flying Dutch will shoot from the line. Gerber and Tolbert check in for the Flying Dutch. And out comes Moorman, a solid performance from Moorman tonight, 14 points on 2 fouls. DeSchmidt, shot is up and is good. As Coach Morehouse gets ready to make a bevy of substitutions. Hannah Smith, Kate Majerus get ready to check in as the back end of 2 is good for DeSchmidt. So out come the majority of the starters. So a well-deserved round of applause. They put together a good showing after a, let's say, suspenseful first quarter. But they showed why they're the third team in the country and played an all-around better game this evening. We've got 2:40. Ball's tipped and Cooley will regain possession. Brown for three. Nothing but net. That's a good-looking shot from Brown. 69-45, 2:30 remaining. Tolbert, 25 on the shot clock, finds Majerus. Majerus to Smith. Back to Majerus. Majerus thinks about it, dribbles right. Goes cross court to Morehouse. Morehouse for three. Short off the front of the iron. Morehouse gives chase. Ball goes out of play. It'll belong to the Knights with 2:14 remaining. And Harris inbounds, and it'll be Cooley who picks the ball up. Crosses midcourt, 2:10 remaining. Brown to Neely. Neely drives inside. Too strong with the left hand, no good. Rebounded by Gerber. And it's Tolbert who will bring the ball up the floor.
Neely makes a great move there, almost able to get it to fall, though just unable to get it with the left hand.
Ball goes out of play. It's tipped off the hands of Morehouse. And so the Knights will take over. 1:50 remaining in regulation. Brown for three. Wide right off the mark. It's Morehouse in transition. Morehouse is met by Brown over to Tolbert. Morehouse top of the perimeter. Ball fake kicks to Gerber. Gerber, strong move with the left hand. It's up and good for Mallory Gerber. Coach Morehouse wanted a timeout, didn't get it. Harris for three. No good off the mark, rebounded by Morehouse. She's fouled by Neely. That'll be Neely's fourth foul with 1:12 remaining, and Morehouse will head to the line.
That is her fourth. To the line tonight's number 12, Sydney Bullhorn.
And the shot is up and good on the front end of the double bonus. So Hope will improve to 6-0 in conference and 15-0 overall. Calvin will drop to 4-3 in conference and 10-6 overall. Still a respectable start for first-year coach in Mark Christner, with just about 1 minute remaining. The Flying Dutch will be next in action on the road at St. Mary's and then back at home at the DeVos Fieldhouse against Alma at 7:30. And the three-point attempt is off the mark for Neely. It's Tolbert, 45 seconds remaining. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Bagley off the mark, no good. That's rebounded by the Knights. It's Brown. Tries to split a pair of defenders. His ball is tipped away by Smith, a foul. And Brown took a shot to the shoulder and she's down. Brown is called for the foul. It'll be Hope possession, and Brown is yet to get up. And the training staff is out to attend to Brown, who is still on the floor, 73-45, 33.5 ticks remaining. So Brown is able to stand and walk off, being helped by the training staff. And we will resume play. It'll be Bagley at the line to shoot the bonus. (73-45). Bagley trying to get onto the scorebook tonight. Off the mark. Shot is good. And so it's clear, crosses the timeline, working on Tolbert, 25 seconds remaining, shot clock turned off. Three-point attempt, it is up and it is good.
Finally able to get one to fall. Great shot, great look.
That was Cameron.
Calvin has knocked down some good-looking threes these past couple minutes. Couldn't get him to go all game, and now they've had a good sequence of them in a row.
Tolbert wanted to answer. There's no good. It's rebounded by the Knights. The shot is up, and it is no good. And so Hope wins the latest edition of the rivalry, 74-50. Started out close, it was suspenseful, and then Hope with the foot on the gas. And so for Brajan Crispin, Rose Thompson, and Russo saying so long, good night. Special thanks to our producers Steve Secor, Alan Babbitt, Phil Blah, and Freddie Gonzalez, and the rest of the crew. Special thanks to all our producers for all they do for Hope College Athletics. We will see you a week from today as Hope plays host to Alma. Hope improves to 15-0 overall and 5-0 in conference. Calvin drops to 4-3 in conference and 10-5 overall. So long, good night, and roll Dutch.